Yo, we're on.
Nice.
What's up, guys? Can you guys hear us? We're on. Let's see.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Can you guys hear us?
Let's see.
Let's see.
I know for us, it's acting a little bit weird right now.
Comment down below if you can hear us, and then we'll get this thing started.
Let's see.
It's working? Perfect. They can all hear us. All right.
Yeah, I know some of my people are having a little bit of technical
Alright.
difficulties. But that's fine
They
though.
can all hear us.
We'll start and I'll send it to them after. That's fine.
All right, let's get it started.
Thank you everybody for coming in. This is exciting. You know why? Because I mean, we have, an 18-year entrepreneur, we have a 20-year-old entrepreneur here, that both have real estate, investment companies that, produce over 6 figures, hitting almost that 7-figure mark soon. So Jacob, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, guys, so I started my real estate journey at the age of 16. My name is Jacob Blank, and now I'm 18 years old, and I've been able to grow my company to produce 6-figure months every month. That's a little bit about me. We're going to both get into our full stories. You want to tell them a little bit about you?
Amazing. Did you guys just hear that? 18 years old. 18 years old, has his own real estate investment company, and you started at 16, correct?
Yeah,
Jacob?
started getting into it at 16. My
Amazing.
first flip was at 16. So, age is just a number, guys. You can do anything you put your mind to, and, we're proof of that. So
Facts. That's so true. I mean, look, for me, myself, I didn't start at 16 years old, but, I started at 18 years old, my real estate journey. I was in the United States Marine Corps. When I joined the Marine Corps, I joined it at 17 years old. Went through a lot of hell, went through a lot of back and forth. But, just going through my story, I'm going to talk about myself a little bit. My name is Leo Bosdo, a.k.a. The Lion of Influence on Instagram. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I grew up out here in, the rugged streets of Los Angeles. I grew up not having anything to my name. I grew up with a single mother, no father around. And for me, myself, I've always had the big dreams to be something great. I've always knew that I wanted to be great. And that all changed at the age of 6 years old when I saw someone driving a Lamborghini. I seen another Hispanic individual and I seen, if he can drive a Lamborghini, why can't I drive a Lamborghini? And after that, my whole life has changed ever since then. I used to see my mom struggle, at a young age, at 5, 6, 7 years old. I used to see my mom struggle. We lived in a car from 5 years old to 7 years old. Me and my mom lived in a car, and I used to always constantly see her struggling every single time. But you know what? She was my superwoman. And every time I used to look at her and see her struggle all the time, I always used to tell her, Mom, I promise you, when I'm older, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to become a millionaire. And I'm definitely going to make sure that you're never going to go through this ever again. And, now being, in my 20s, 20 years old, I'm able to, accomplish all of my dreams now at 20. I started at 18 years old. I went through the ups and downs. And I remember at 18 years old, door knocking, everybody would, slam the door in my face. Nobody would ever believe, man, this guy's 18 years old. He's in real estate. He has a baby face. I had a little bit of peach fuzz. I didn't have no hair growing out, just like Jacob himself. Yeah. And, a lot of people used to hang up on me, and no one ever wanted to, actually listen to what I had to say or what I had to offer. So for me, myself, it was really difficult because I didn't have no mentor. I didn't have, money to pay a mentor. I didn't have $25,000 sitting in the bank account so I can go pay Carlos Reyes or Rafael Vargas or all these top guys in the industry, right, that I seen when I first was coming up. So, got in at 18 and I told myself, what is it that I want to do in my life? I told myself, there's 2 things that I can do. I can get into real estate and I can get into stocks. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get into real estate. Got into real estate. I ended up going to one of my first mentors. Her name is Heather Preche out of Keller Williams Inglewood. I walked up in there at 18 years old and I said, look, I want to learn from the #1 real estate earner in this place. And I want to learn from them and I don't even want to get paid. That's exactly what happened. She said, be back here on Friday. I'm going to give you a book. I want you to read that book and I want you to learn everything that you know about real estate. And you're going to come back and tell me. Remember, she said, be here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I ended up showing up at 7:30 in the morning because I was so excited, so eager just to get in there. Showed up 7:30, and then she actually showed up at 8 o'clock. She's seen me and she's like, "Wow, you're actually serious." Point is, every day after that, I kept hustling, I kept grinding, and at that time, I was actually sleeping with someone. He was actually sleeping with someone. He was actually one of my roommates. He was actually one of my roommates, and he was a Marine as well. He ended up getting deployed, and when he got deployed, he was actually kind of like the main income earner, of our apartment. He ended up leaving during my entrepreneurship journey. He got deployed to Iraq. When he got deployed to Iraq, I had no money to my name. I had everything. All my focus was into real estate. And then at that time, I told myself, okay, what is it that I have to do? Am I going to quit my real estate journey because my buddy left and he's the only one that can afford the apartment? Me, myself, I was only making $300-400. Or am I going to stick with my dreams? So I stuck with my dreams. I slept in my 1999 Mustang. The windows didn't go down. The water pump was broken. You would smell gas in there. So I slept in my car, got a Planet Fitness membership. And that Planet Fitness membership, it helped me out a lot. It was able for me to go take a shower, go work out, and then during the day, go door knock, go to Starbucks. And at that time, nobody knew I was homeless. Nobody knew, I had nowhere to stay. Point is, moving on forward, 6, 7, 8 months after struggling day in, day out, finally got my first real estate deal, $15,000, reinvested into my business, made $30,000. And ever since then, it's been a no-brainer. Now today, being 20 years old, now my business is at $98,000, actually $106,000. I know one of my buddies in here is actually, he's tuned in. One of my buddies is tuned in into the podcast. We just closed another $25,000. So that actually shoots us up to $115,000 for the month. If you would have asked me this when I was sleeping in a car with my mother at 20 years old, you're going to be making $115,000 every single month, I would have said, hell yes.
100.
You see the difference there? I didn't say hell no. I said hell yes. And the reason being is because I always knew at such a young age I was meant for greatness. I know that, God put me in those trials and tribulations because he's like, you know what? You're meant for greatness. You're meant for something greater. And now, now I have my own real estate business. I have a boxing company that I'm working on with me and my buddy. We're looking to promote fights in Dubai. I have my home service company. I have an Instagram business. I'm starting an Amazon business as well. We're starting professional service for real estate investors, starting our podcast. And it's just been an amazing journey. And I know for you yourself, Jacob, you have an amazing journey as well. A little bit different, but I know you have an amazing father that guided you. But, let me add this to something. Jacob is 18 years old and, he's had to hustle for everything he's had as well. And it's just a bit amazing. But yeah, go talk about your
well,
journey.
I want to highlight a few things that you said. You said, number one, your why, right? Your mom, you did everything for that, right? Number two, the eat shit stage, you sleeping in a car, having nothing, right? The struggles made you who you are to be strong enough to build this business. It takes strength to be able to do this, and put in the long hours every day. So there's a lot of things that you just went over that we can break down later on that just really show who you are. But guys, let's get into my story. So I've been around real estate since I was 12. My father's been in real estate since 2004. And since I was 12, I would always go to his flips and I would paint stuff, move rock, landscaping, stuff like that for a few bucks on the weekends just to help him out. But I never really got into it till I turned 16. And the reason I really got into it was because my dad just he was breaking off from a bad business partner. Now, you guys want to watch out for business partners because they can literally ruin your life. Now, what happened with me was, and my family was, this business partner put a list pendants on my dad's property that he was flipping. And now what a list pendants is, it basically means that he wasn't able to sell the property till it was released. Now, keep in mind, this property was over $500,000. So that's a lot of money to have in a property with a loan where your interest rate is costing you a few $1,000s every month. So he's just losing money every month, not just from the loan, but from the lawyers. We spent over $70,000 to break free from this terrible man. I'm not going to mention his name, even though I should. And, in lawyer fees, we spent over $70,000, and it truly broke my family apart. It broke my mom and dad apart. It broke my sister and my dad apart. My grandma, my grandpa, everyone was fighting with each other during this time when I did my first flip. My parents were split up. My dad was fighting this lawsuit. And my dad found this property direct to seller, and he said, I think it would be good if we spent every day together working on this property, and you put $5,000 in on this property. Keep in mind, I saved all my money from growing up from doing work for him on his houses. I used to sell tons of stuff on OfferUp, lemonade stands, sell bracelets at the gate at my neighborhood. Whatever it was, I was making money and I was saving it. I never went to the store and bought candy, nothing like that. I saved all my money. And you need to save your money so then you can build your dreams with that money. But my dad said, you should put some of your money in this flip, double your money, and work with me on this. And I said, okay, because I thought it would be good that I could be next to my dad every day and kind of be like a support coach for him and my mom and everyone, to get everyone on the same page again and bring my family back together. So through real estate, I brought my family back together through this flip I did, which was a blessing in disguise, and I got into the wholesaling because my dad actually bought the flip that he was stuck with from a wholesaler. So that's how I found out about Alex Sains, because he actually bought the deal from Alex Sains. And so all of this was a blessing in disguise. I work through the flip. I do toilets. I paint baseboards. I do landscaping. I move rock. I did everything possible in a flip to do. We barely paid for anything. I think we paid to get the cabinets painted, and the rest we did ourselves. Now, the reason he wanted me to do all this was so I learned every part of the business. Just like I'm sure, Leo, you've made the cold calls, you've done the marketing, you've done this. You didn't have any employees, so you did every part. So he wanted me to learn every part. Meanwhile, while I'm building my family back together. So we do this flip. I double my money. We sell it. We make a good amount of money. And then, we're about to break free from this lawsuit. My family's back together. And we break free from this lawsuit. We paid for mentorship with the all-in guys, with Alex Sains, the guy who sold my dad the deal that he got stuck in. And then, here we are now. I never slowed down for a second. I worked my butt off every single day. I knew through my whole life, I never thought that I was going to be just average. I never wanted to settle for average. I always felt like I would either be famous on YouTube, something. And, it turned out to be real estate, and it's super cool that I'm able to do stuff like this podcast, YouTube, and all that, which kind of goes with my old hobby and what I thought I would be successful at with the real estate. And here I am. I won't ever look back. I'm so blessed and happy that this has happened. And a year ago from now, my life was 180. Family torn apart. Dad losing money in lawsuits. No money coming in. Stress upon stress upon stress. And now we're here. So, guys, if you're at your rock bottom right now, just know it goes up from here. And, highs always come with lows. And the bigger low you have, the higher high you'll have. Okay?
I love that.
So,
I love that you mentioned that, Jacob. I actually love that you mentioned that. And the reason being is because, for me, myself, I'm going to give an example. I mean, since a young age, since I slept in a car at a young age, and since I was basically poor, I was really poor when I grew up. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a Christmas. I didn't have a Thanksgiving, not to make you feel bad about anything. But when you come at that level already, when you come from the bottom, the only way is up. So for me, myself, being a young age, I didn't have anything. But the man I am today, the energetic Leo that you're going to see every single day on the phone, on Zoom calls, on Instagram, whatever it is, for me, myself, the only way to look is up. And I look at it like this. There's so much countries that are going through worse things as us. I was watching a documentary the other day of the most dangerous ways to go to school. There was 4 Nicaraguan kids. They were going on a boat to go travel to school. So I told myself this. I remember even at a young age, I used to always tell myself, yes, I am sleeping in a car, but it can be worse. I can be sleeping in the streets. I can be sleeping in a sewer. I can be sleeping under a tunnel. So I remember I always had a positive mindset as in, being young, I've always had a positive mindset that I can always go through something worse. So going off what you were saying,
Yeah.
Jacob,
I want to, Carlos Reyes, he posted something, our mentor posted something, right? 99 problems, 99,000 blessings, right? Everyone has
right,
problems. Like, I'm sitting there, oh, I didn't get a deal this week or today or whatever it is. You got to think about all the positives going on, right? And then you'll keep pushing forward. And, everyone has their own rock bottoms. I left online school because I had health issues where I couldn't wake up super early because my immune system was breaking down constantly. So I left school, did online, and turns out that was another blessing in disguise, another meant to be feeling, right? That I left school to do online because I was able to focus on something new. And with me, I'm ADHD. I'm so ADHD, so I have
like
to be
that.
focused on something. Otherwise, I'm not happy, right? I got to be focused on a project that I'm going to succeed at and build and grow in order for me to be focused, busy, and happy. And so, real estate came into my life, and you could ask my dad. I've never been happier. So,
Oh, you have an amazing dad. Let me shout out David Blank for creating such an
sure.
amazing son. Because for me myself, I know my son, I wanted to be the replica of Jacob.
Yeah.
Because that's amazing. I met your dad I remember at a Momentum. I
The
met him at
first thing you said
Momentum.
when I met you was your dad is you just you you went in on my how amazing my dad is, bro.
Shout out to David Blank because he's an amazing person, and that's just amazing. And going off parenting, let me say this a lot because I meet a lot of people. Look, me and Jacob are completely different people, but at the end of the day, me and him have the same mindset. You know why?
100%.
Because look, I didn't have a mom or a dad. I had a mom, a single mother. I didn't have a dad. My single mother was playing the role of mom and dad. I know there's a lot of people that unfortunately go through that role. They have to play mom and dad, and it all comes down to the mindset you have. Because I always say this: are you gonna ask a plumber about money advice? Are you gonna ask someone that has never run a business about business? You're not gonna ask them that type of advice. So
Yeah.
for me myself,
I want to throw something in there. If you have both your parents, don't take that for granted. There's so many people that don't, and it's truly sad. So everyone comes from a different thing. We're coming from different things, but 100%, our mindset is the same. We wake up every day early. We crush it every day. Our goals are massive. We will do anything to not settle for average, and that's how we roll every day. Would you agree?
yeah, I highly agree that I highly agree because look, at the end of the day, if you wake up, the first thought you have in the mind, I always think about this. If you guys ever read the book "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins, "Can't Hurt Me." David Goggins is an ex Navy SEAL, so he talks about you look yourself in the mirror and it's called the accountability mirror. You go in front of the mirror and you tell yourself why you're going through a specific situation. If you're fat, why are you fat? You're fat because you're unhealthy or you don't go work out. Why are you not successful in something that you're doing? You're maybe not hanging around you're maybe hanging around with the wrong crowd. Maybe you're not saying the right things. You're not putting your mindset in the right place. So for me myself, when I got into this industry, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody in real estate. I didn't know anybody in stocks. I didn't know anybody that was successful. The only successful people I used to see was on TV. I used to think celebrities. I always wanted to be a celebrity. I wanted to be a movie star. That's what I wanted to be when I was younger. But something for me myself is that once I started surrounding myself around the people I wanted to be like, I started becoming like them slowly by slowly by slowly. And it's crazy because me being in my 20s, I'm able to surround myself around multi-millionaires, a billionaire as well that I actually met in Target. I posted this on my Instagram about 3 months ago. And this guy like owns billions of dollars worth of real estate and other businesses that he does. He does a hedge fund and all this crazy stuff. But now I'm able to have conversations with people like this because, I'm now, the way I talk, the way, I surround myself with people.
Would you have been surrounded by these people if you were shy? No, you had to
No.
go for it. You had to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, right? As
Oh,
Alex Stein says, comfort or growth, right? I don't ever want to be comfortable. In my business, I make myself feel overwhelmed all the time. So freaking overwhelmed all the time because when I'm overwhelmed, I make money. When there's too much going on, I make money. When there's not enough going on, there's not enough going on, and I feel upset that there's not enough going on. I want to be overwhelmed all the time. And that goes with building relationships. That goes with everything. You have to make yourself uncomfortable in order to grow. And if you build that circle around you of these people like you and I have done, right? We're surrounded by Carlos, Sal, Alex, Justin Colby, just all Zach Keeps, all these people. We've reached out to them. We've tried to build relationships with them so we can learn from them. Obviously, because we're the young guns, we need these older people. Now, all that has done is contributed to our success. But if we were shy and we didn't go the extra mile to try to contact them, would we have had that extra support from those type of people?
Never.
No.
Never. And I wanna add into that because look, life is not sweet and dandy, guys. I'm telling you this right now because I was in the Marine Corps. Okay, life is not sweet and dandy. I always say, once I got into civilian life, when I got out of the Marine Corps, it completely changed my life, guys. Because when I was in the Marines, it was a complete reality check. I graduated high school, guys, at 15 years old. I graduated 15 years old. Just a little backstory about that. I got kicked out of high school at 15 years old. I ended up getting in a fight. They suspended me. They ended up sending me to an alternative school. This alternative school that they sent me to, everybody that went to that school was either going to go to jail, was either going to, not graduate, never do anything with their life. I went to this school and I graduated my sophomore, what is it, the 11th grade year. It's a sophomore, junior, and senior year. My sophomore, junior, and senior year in 1 year. And I remember the principal of that school said, Leo, no one has ever done this. Nobody's even has got a high school diploma. I got a high school diploma, guys, at 15 years old. At 15 years old, got the high school diploma. Went into the military at 17 years old. I was the youngest Marine. And I went through a lot of, backlashes. And just going to that, I had a lot of people in the military, just put me down because I was really young. I had a lot of leadership roles that I had to, overcome. And I never had a leadership role ever in my life. So going to the military, I had to deal with those, those leadership roles that was put right in front of me without choice, without making the choice, but just because what they say you have to do, you actually have to do it. So putting that back into my entrepreneurship journey at 18 years old, once I started that journey, I had a lot of people say no to me, guys. I had a lot of, my girlfriend had broke up with me. Nobody believed in me. Everybody called me a bum. Everybody said, you're not going to become anything. You're going to become like your mother. You're going to be like your mother who's on drugs. You're going to become everything that everybody said bad about me. They all said it. They all said the same thing. But you know what? I stuck with it. I stuck with it every single day. I stuck with real estate. And like I said, this is called Millennial Motivate, guys. And forget the word motivate as well. Inspire. I'm here to inspire you guys because look, I became homeless at 18 years old. And keep in mind, I was homeless from 6 years old to about 8 years old, homeless with my mother. Well, we were sleeping in the car, so we were technically not homeless, sleeping in the car. And then how is it that I became homeless at 18 years old? Again, I became homeless twice. So in my early age of life and, becoming a young adult coming out of the Marine Corps, and I became homeless again, but I stuck with my real estate journey day in, day out, every single day. It took me 8 months to get my first deal. 8 months. Anybody would quit. So going into that, what Jacob is talking about, you have to have grit. The same, what is it called? Calluses. Yep. The same calluses you have in your hand, have the same calluses in your head. Make sure that calluses that's in your head is every day with you because life just gets harder. But remember, someone else is going through worse things than you. So keep pushing.
And more money, more problems. So if you haven't built that callus, this business will destroy you. It's a lot. It's a lot. And, So Leo, so you got kicked out of school and then you were like, I'm done with school. I'm finishing this as quick as possible and moving on.
Actually, no. I my biggest dream, guys, was to become a professional boxer. I actually had my first professional fight in Mexicali, which is in Mexico. I was too young. I was too young to have a fight in the United States, so I actually fought in Mexicali, and I got paid like $10. $10 for a professional fight, no headgear, no nothing. And then after that, I fought. I actually got back into training. I messed up my hand. Keep in mind, guys, I thought my boxing was going to change my life. I thought it was going to be the number one thing I wanted to be world champion like these famous boxers, Oscar De La Hoya, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. I wanted to be like all these top guys. Broke my hand. I had nothing else to do. I didn't have, any successful people in my family. I didn't have nobody, influencing me. I didn't have anybody motivating me. And then at that time, I ended up, saying, why don't I get into the military? A lot of young individuals, we get into the military, we have nothing to do. I actually took my ASVAB. I got a high score in the military testing, and I got a lot of successful jobs that they provided me. And then I wanted to do the Marine Corps boxing team and do amazing things. But yeah, the military got kicked out at 15 years old and got into military at 17.
Yeah, so with me, I didn't have, school was not it. Like, I got
Definitely.
suspended multiple times just because I would mess around. That ADHD comes into play. I just mess around, mess with all the teachers. I didn't have one teacher. I had one teacher in high school, maybe two teachers in elementary school that maybe thought I could be something. But other than that, they all didn't think I would be shit. They didn't like me. They didn't think I would be anything or grow up to be, they thought I would always be a kid because I just couldn't mature. But that's what they thought, because I would be bored and mess around. But now, like, look at me, right? I almost want to send them a letter thanking them for making me upset about how they treated me to make me want to succeed so much. And I got good grades. I always got good grades, but I just mess around. So they thought I was smart, but they thought I would never put my time into anything that was important. And turns out, you don't want to judge a book by its cover ever, because I grew up, I got out of school, I was always money motivated growing up, hustling for whatever it was, selling whatever it was over and over. You can see videos on my YouTube that I'm going to show you how I made money when I was, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? In order to save up to start my business. And I would just always hustle. So once I finally had enough with school and I had health problems and I did the online, I just said, I'm focusing on something else too, because I could
Let me
knock
mention
out the
something.
online school super fast and then just focus on something business. I wanted to be something quick right now. That's how it is with me. I got these goals, these giant dreams, and I don't want to wait on anything. And that's how I am. What were you saying?
And yeah, let me mention something, Jacob. And also as well, your dad didn't put a gun to your head and said you have to get into real estate.
No.
You at 16 years old said you wanted to get into real estate. Nobody put a gun to your head. Your dad didn't say you have to do real estate.
So people say, "Oh, your dad did this. Oh, it's all your dad." Man, look inside you, and you need to tell me if you have the same motivation and drive I do, because I wouldn't be here every day at 8 a.m. to 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. at night working, unless it was in me that I wanted to do it, right? You got to be the type of person to work as hard as me. You got to outwork me. Outwork me first, and then tell me my dad did it all for me. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean?
I love that I love that you say that, because look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. At 16 years old, I wasn't thinking about real estate.
Yeah.
At 16 years old, I wanted to be a professional boxer. Different route. But nobody pulled a gun to your head at 16 years old and said you need to get into real estate. At 16 years old, you made the choice to this, and now being 18 years old, you have a real estate investment company. We're always getting on calls together.
Right.
We're always talking about how our company's doing, and
Right.
we don't just talk about the good things. We talk about the bad things, the good things, and that's how life is. Because
Right.
even in
And,
our business,
shout out to David. Your parents are supposed to drop these things into your mind when you're young. So then they build you by just, it's not, it's like a third perspective. They're dropping these things into your mind, showing you how they act, what they do. So then you can follow their lead, right? So he always was dropping these real estate things into my mind, keeping me around the business while I was young. but I never thought I would be doing real estate. I don't know why. It never crossed my mind till my whole family was destroyed, and you know, I had this money and he wanted me to put it in a deal and help him feel better and be with him throughout the days. It never crossed my mind. And now look at me. So guys, you might be hit with something all of a sudden, like, you know, God might speak to you, or whatever it is might come down and speak to you, and you'll realize what your destiny is meant to be. And you know, at first, or in the beginning, when this real estate stuff started to take off, I would be like thinking late at night, like, oh my God, there's no turning back. I got to work my ass off every day, all the time, 24/7, on the weekends too, because I'm making this happen. Do you really want this, right? Do you want this? There's no turning back, right? I had those thoughts because it started to get real. The business was taking off. And you know, I never turned back. You know, there was no turning back. And now I fell in love with it. I love doing this every day. It is so fun. You know, I'm still a kid too. I have fun with my friends on the weekends and stuff like that. Don't forget that. But this business is my main joy in life too, you know.
I wouldn't even consider you a kid. You're a grown man. Like I consider you a grown man with you have a business, and that's amazing. I consider you a grown man. And I even heard it in the All In podcast when they were talking about Jacob. You're a man. You're a man. Like you have your own business. You're doing great things for yourself. Your dad's not telling you to do this. You're doing it because you want to do it. You're getting the guidance from your dad, but that doesn't mean that he's having you do that. So that, you know, kudos to you. That's amazing. And I want to mention something. You said something about God, and I truly believe this, guy. Whether you believe in God or not, God has a plan for you, guys. God has a plan for you. And I think of my life as a book. It's a book. Every single chapter is already pre-made from God. I like something that Albert Einstein says. He says, imagination is upcoming attractions of what's already happened. Basically, that's what he says. I don't know the exact quote,
right,
but it's what Albert Einstein says. And I truly believe that your imagination is everything. And I'm pretty sure you had a great imagination when you were younger. I had a great imagination when I first saw that Lamborghini at 6-7 years old. And I saw that Hispanic driving a Lamborghini. He was successful. He had everything that I wanted. But I said, what makes this guy better than me? He's a human. He bleeds the same as both of us. And going to that, we bleed all the same, guys. And just God has that plan for you. He has that plan for you to be great.
I'm not special. We're normal. We're just normal people, right, bro?
Always.
Nope, always. So like, if you think you can't do it and we got something special, that is not the case. I got a couple things to say too. You know, you mentioned my first podcast that I went on. Guys, me and Leo are trying to document our journey as we go. If you watch some of the old stuff of me, it's just crazy how far I've came, and that's going to continue to happen. I'm going to watch this in a year and be like, oh my God, because I'm going to be so much farther. So I want you guys to come along, watch me and Leo's journey as we go. And another thing too, like you said, like the Albert Einstein thing, right? You're going to be working so hard to get your first deal. Every day, right? It took me 7 months. It took you 8 months to get your first deal. Working so hard, calling sellers every day. Hundreds of calls every day, right? And all of a sudden, this happened to me. I was sleeping one night and I just had a dream where I envisioned the whole thing. I envisioned the seller, the conversation, how their voice sounded, me writing up the contract, them signing, the comps, everything. I envisioned every little detail. And I woke up the next day. By noon, I had the deal locked up. It happens, guys. You keep feeding your mind with this stuff. You keep working as hard as you can, as many calls as you can. Just keep grinding. A deal will come. Eventually, God or whatever you believe in will come down and bless you with what you deserve for your hard work. And I see it all the time.
I love that you say that. And you know, even for me myself, I didn't dream of my next deal, but I remember I was already at my down point. I had a negative $100 in my bank account, literally negative $100 in my bank account. I was depressed. I was letting people get to my head. This was already 7 months that I was doing real estate. And I remember everybody telling me, Leo, you've been doing real estate for 7 months and haven't got no deals. You haven't got no deals. And I said, I promise I'm going to get a deal. I'm going to get it. Sooner or later, I'm going to get a deal. I'm going to change my life. I have to do this. But you know what? as human beings, we go through those turning points. We go through that point where you finally give up. And guys, I was depressed. I said, you know what? Maybe I am a loser. Maybe the principle that told me when I was 6 years old that I'm never going to be anything, maybe they were true. That was true. Maybe, me, getting kicked out of high school at 15 years old, maybe that was just me being, I'm going to be a bum. Maybe I'm going to be, another statistic. That's what I told myself. I'm going to become another statistic. I did not become another statistic. Now here, doing my business, what it is, $115,000 in assignment fees. I know my buddy, like I said, he's in the podcast right now. We just locked up a $25,000 deal and an $8,000 deal already. So that brings us to $115,000 for the month. Who would have thought a kid who came from nothing and was homeless in 2018 can do what he's doing now? So keep pushing every day.
The people around you, you said like they were like 7 months, you haven't got a deal, right? They were probably like, when are you gonna move on? You need to try something else. When are you gonna give up? Like, and that's not the right circle to have, They needed to tell you, just keep going, man. Next month, you got it. You got it. Next month, right? But people see, the 7 months and they're like, you're throwing your life away. You still haven't got one, but it's not the time to give up. Okay.
I want to add something. And when they finally do see you win, this is everything that I heard. Oh, he's selling drugs. He's a scam. He's getting his money illegally. I just got my first real estate deal. Just applaud me. Look, they're not going to applaud you when you're losing, and they're not going to applaud you when you're winning, but they're definitely going to be watching what you're doing. I promise you.
Right. So let's go over how it felt when you got your first deal. How did it feel for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I remember going to my car and I started crying. And I told myself that this is the start of everything. I even told myself this, look, I'm making a deal. I closed my first deal, but this can be easily taken away from me. What are the next steps that I'm going to do? And keep in mind, guys, for me, myself, I didn't have, someone that, look, if you're at a young age and you're making so much money and you don't have someone to teach you about money, for me, myself, I dropped money into Forex. I put money into Bitcoin. I put money into this ridiculous real estate events that never taught me anything. So I put my money into the wrong things, but thankfully, I went through the storm. I weathered through the storm, and, I was able to, go through it and just do amazing things after that. But keep in mind, guys, I want to add something. Just because you're at a certain level and any point that you're in your business doesn't mean you're not gonna have those bad times. Okay, I know a lot of these real estate gurus that teach the courses, the events, and all that. They never give you guys the bad moments. I can promise you guys this. If you follow me on Instagram, I mention you guys all the bad moments I've had.
Leo, the first time we talked, we went over how no one shows, and we want to show the real, that we have too.
You remember we were talking about that? Yeah. I was talking about how I was going through a cold calling lawsuit because we were cold calling someone. I was talking also about how our employees it's very difficult to have employees because sometimes it's a high turnover rate, especially in the business we're in. But keep in mind, these are problems at a young age we're having. Imagine when we're 27, 28, 29 years old, where we're going to be at. So our problems that we're having now, we see it as big problems, but really they're learning. Yep. It's a learning experience for us. That's how it is.
And, I just got a pre-litigation letter 2 weeks ago from cold calling, right? More money, more problems. But it's all to, I was calling my uncle about that because he owns a call center. And I'm like, what should we do about this? Whatever. And he's like, just see if he actually sues you. See if you get a email from his attorney. But overall, it would be a learning experience. So say it costs you $5-10 grand, it's all a learning experience. So each problem is a learning experience. Your problems right now, every single no that you're getting every day when calling homeowners is a learning experience. But my first deal, I actually got my first deal under contract, and it didn't go through. The reason it didn't go through is I actually had it locked up at a decent price, but they didn't tell me about all this foundation issues, that it was going to cost this much or whatever. And so they showed me a bid. When I came back with my contractor, right, my buyer, they showed him the bid for how much it would cost to fix it. And it was like 15 grand or something. And that kind of killed the deal. But if I didn't think it was dead just because I showed it to one buyer and I showed it to more buyers, I guarantee I would have wholesaled the property. But I let the original few buyers that I showed it to get into my head, when really I should have looked for, other buyers that would take on the project. So my first deal fell through. I felt terrible, terrible for a day, maybe 2 days. But then I got back on the phone. Kept on the phone. Days, weeks. Days turned into weeks. Week turned into months. Then finally, 7 months into this, we got our first deal, which it turned out to be a $30,000 deal. I sold it to Zachary Keeps, which I'm super happy I did. It was a good learning experience. And it was a monumental moment, and it changed everything. Something switched. I knew I could rinse and repeat and do this over and over again. It was actually the moment I knew I'm never giving up at this, and I'm going to the sky, or I'm not going anywhere. I'm going for the top, and that's it. And I'm going to see everyone at the top. And this is how I felt that day. I felt like, oh no, they shouldn't have let me in. They shouldn't have let me into the game, because, the young guns come in, and then there we go. Deal after deal from there. And now I'm doing 6-figure months. I'm still on the phone, guys. I'm in the trenches. I only have a few acquisition. Yep, every day. I only have a few acquisition managers. So I still have to feed my business, right? Deals is the number one goal at all times. You have to continue to feed your business. That you don't want to lose sight of what's making your company the actual money. I'm still on the phone. Personally, myself, I've made over $200,000 in assignment fees in the past 2 months myself. $200,000.
Yeah, in the past 2 months.
Yeah.
And I like that you mentioned that, Jacob. In the past 2 months, $200,000. I mean, when we grow up having that mindset that you got to go to school, you got to go get a college degree, and we're here making. I just mentioned what we're making this month, $115,000 for the month,
Yep.
and we're not. I have 2 more weeks left to August. Who knows? And who knows? And actually, my business partner is on the call too as well, Angel. Who knows what we're gonna shoot for after this? But look, going into that,
Yeah.
we're here making money.
More than doctors, more than lawyers, more than, the highest paying jobs, right? You can go to a Fortune 500 company and work for them for 5 years, and you still won't make as much as I just made in 2 months. And it's crazy. Real estate, it's like cheat codes, man. Cheat codes to life. That's how I feel, because, there's these big checks just constantly coming in. I'm 18 years old. I just turned 18. I'm still basically 17 years old. And I'm opening 15K checks, 25K checks, 28K checks, 35, 54. I just locked up a 64K deal the other day.
Amazing.
And I call you when I got the last 2 checks earlier this week, and I'm like, bro, this is crazy. We're so young, dude. I can't imagine.
Can I mention something too, Jacob? Let me mention one thing. This is something funny. So me and Jacob, we talk all the time when we get on phone calls, and when we get on phone calls, we're like, man, we only made $40,000 this month, and we're sad because we just made $40,000 in 1 month. We're sad because we made $30,000 a month. The average individual would love to make at least $8,000 a month.
$40,000. I'm pretty sure that's the average income that people make across the United States, bro. And we make it a month, and we're upset. So that just shows that there's levels to this. Our goals change, right? In the beginning, it's that one deal. You're gonna get hooked, right? You're gonna get hooked. It's like a drug. The next deal, a bigger deal, right? You have an insane month. You're at a super high. The next week, you don't get that many deals. You'll feel down, but then you just crush it, because you never give up. Once you know it's possible, you're never going to give up, and you're going to keep shooting for the stars,
Yeah, I love that you mentioned you're just going to make up for it. And guys, in entrepreneurship, you're going to have your lows. You're going to have your highs. There's going to be days that are good. There's going to be days that are even better. And you're going to have days that are really, really, really bad. But you just got to keep pushing through the wave, guys. Entrepreneurship, I always say this. Being broke is hard. Being rich is hard. Being broke is going to be hard, but you're going to always stay in the same place. Being rich, it's hard too. That journey is going to be so hard. But best believe you're climbing up the ladder, you might miss one step, but you're gonna keep climbing up the ladder. That's the difference.
Yeah, and
When
what are we supposed to do in life? Stay broke and just do nothing, or
yeah,
build a journey and a story in our life of growing to success. And all problems are different. Money solves many problems, and money creates many problems.
let me ask you, Jacob, as corny as it sounds, and we always hear this, as corny as it sounds, we always hear this. What is your why? What is your why? What wakes you up every single morning? I'll go through mine after you go through yours. But what is your why? What are you here on this earth for? What is it that you feel like you want to do?
So my why, as you can see, I got into real estate originally to help my family out, to be by my dad side by side, bring my family back together. Real estate, my why, number one, family. Number two, I want to be successful for myself so my family can be proud of me, right? You don't want to just be a lazy bum. No one in your family is going to be proud of you, right? And then number three, this one has grown on me. This one is for you guys watching. I want to inspire you guys, motivate you guys, document my journey, show you guys so you know it's possible from watching me. That's my third why that has come into play recently. I really feel like I can change some people's lives. I feel like I have changed some people's lives already. And I'm excited to, impact thousands just like we want to do.
Exactly, that's amazing. And just going through my why, my why, guys. I used to always think, my why is my family, right? I used to always say it's my family, but really, what it is, my why, and everybody always says this: all glory to God, because He's given me the life to be here in earth every single day, and every single day that I wake up, I give glory to God for giving me the health, giving me eyesight, giving me ears, giving me the availability to be able to move around and you just be able to walk and you'll continue my entrepreneurship journey every single day. But really, with my why, like I said, it's bigger than my family. It's about worldwide impact. Because when you think of all these top guys, Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. Facebook has completely changed technology. Steve Jobs creating the Mac, creating the computers and everything that he's created has completely changed. iPhones, we have all this amazing stuff, right? When you think of all these amazing individuals, they thought about worldwide impact. And I know me and Jacob, that's what we want. We want worldwide impact. What are my kids are going to remember me for generation after generation after generation? What are they going to remember me for? I am breaking a curse. So going to my why, I'm breaking a generational curse. There's never been someone in my family that has got their high school diploma. There's never been someone in my family that has made more than $20,000. I've already made $20,000. Obviously, I just made $20,000 last Friday, but it's just a real estate deal. Making $100,000. I've already made $100,000. Becoming a millionaire. I will become a millionaire this year. By the end of this year, anything to take it. But I'm breaking generational curses now at this point. And going to our why, I know for me and Jacob, the reason why we're connected is because we both have the same why, which is being able to impact thousands. We're going to start off by impacting hundreds, thousands, then millions.
Something brought us together to do this. And, it's not about clout, right? It's not about clout. It's about influence. We want to influence you guys. And this is what another thing Carlos told me, and that's why he supports us in this, right? Because he knows you and me, we're not about clout, right? We don't want the fame. It's not about that. We want to influence you guys, motivate you guys, and change lives. So that's what we're here to do, and it's super exciting, and we're excited to keep growing the community. This is going to be a community for like-minded individuals. It doesn't matter your age. Yes, we called it Millennial Motivate because we're millennials, and we also want to inspire those kids in schools that college isn't the only option, right? If your family can't afford college, get on YouTube, right? This is another thing I wanted to talk about.
University.
Get educated, right? Get educated about whatever it is. If you want to get into real estate, stocks, whatever it is, save up $300, buy a course, or get on YouTube. There's enough information on YouTube for you to stuff your brain full and then hit the ground running on something and become a success. Not an overnight success, because that rarely happens. But if you just learn and learn and learn, you will become a success, and you will love the journey. The journey Don't you love the journey? If there's no journey, then the win at the end of the road will feel like nothing. You know?
Why do you guys think lottery winners go broke? They go broke because they were never taught about the journey of money and how to actually earn money. So when they actually get money, they go broke.
They didn't appreciate how hard they worked for it because they didn't work for it. So that's another great thing.
So guys, just going a little bit more into like Millennial Motivate and what it is. We had some technical difficulties. I've had a couple people that weren't able to log in. So next time we'll have something set up better. We'll probably have more of a Zoom link, YouTube. We're gonna start growing our YouTube channel as well, and then we're gonna start growing some other stuff. So we'll make it very easy for us to log into Millennial Motivate, and we're gonna keep bringing individuals. And keep in mind, guys, it's not just real estate. This is going to be for other entrepreneurs out there. There's going to be people that are in Forex, Bitcoin. We're going to bring different individuals.
Boxers, real estate, Forex, whatever it is, stocks, right? YouTube, people that are successful on YouTube and how they make their money on that. Just all different businesses we're going to bring on here. My uncle that owns a call center, my dad, so you can actually hear from him, his experience of 20 years in real estate. Zachary Keeps will come on here eventually, who owns over 200 homes in the Valley as rentals.
We'll bring our mentor Carlos. We'll bring our
mentor our mentors. We're going to bring you people that you can learn from too, so it's not just going to be me and Leo. Let's do this. Let's give it till 7 o'clock. So
let's let them ask some questions.
21 more minutes. Let's answer some questions. Also, guys, share the podcast with your friends right now. Share it on your timeline so we can get more people to join the group. We want to grow this community. Please help us help you. Let's grow this community.
Exactly, guys.
So share the group and hit us with questions. We're ready to answer.
We're ready to answer any questions you guys have. So if you guys have any questions, if you don't, then we'll move on with the talk. But does anybody have any questions?
Share this on your Facebook timeline, guys, so we can get some more people in here.
Let's see. I know this is freezing. Let me go through it. I know it's lagging right here.
Can I JV without getting the purchase? Can I JV without getting the contract, the purchase contract signed first? No, because you don't have a deal with the seller, so it means nothing. You got to get that signed. Renee, I will keep praying for you. I know I was talking to you the other day. All I want you to do is win. So
your dad asked me. He said, "What book did the lady at Keller have you read, Leo?" So one of the books that they had me read was called Millionaire Success. Not Millionaire Success Habits. The Millionaire. So there's two books. There's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and the Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller. She meant to give me the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book because she was a realtor. She ended up giving me the Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
That was meant for a reason. Meant for a reason. What is the goal for Millennial Motivate? We just went over this. We want to motivate thousands of you, and it's not about clout. It's about influence. We want to influence you guys. We want to answer questions about real estate, other business, just business in general, life, even though we haven't been on this planet for very long. But from what we've experienced so far in our business and how we have dealt with it at a young age, we want to answer for you guys. We want to be here, not only us, we want the other people in the community to be here for you too. And that's why we're trying to grow a community, not just a podcast, right? We want all of you to be part of this and help each other out and lift each other up.
Right. My boy Miguel Eccles. My boy Miguel Eccles, he's actually an active Marine from Okinawa, Japan. He asked, what is the goal for Millennial Motivate? The goal for Millennial Motivate is to just motivate millions. That's what it is. I mean, we're not thinking short term here. We're thinking long term and what we're looking to do. So we're looking to just absolutely grow this. Shout out to you, Miguel Eccles. Miguel is a close friend of mine in the Marines watching. He's tuning in from Okinawa, Japan.
Awesome.
I want to mention something that he said the other day too as well, just to motivate you guys. He's starting his entrepreneurship journey, and he said, I have somewhere to sleep that the Marines provide me, but I sleep in my car because I read books and I make sure if I don't accomplish anything in my business, I'm gonna sleep in my car. He sleeps in his car. So shout out to you, Miguel. That's amazing. He's a Marine.
Daniel asks, Wait, where's that one question? Oh, how much of your profits are you reinvesting each month into your system? I think that's a great question. Leo, how often do you pay yourself? We were talking about this the other day, remember?
Yeah. So you look, guys. You everybody thinks you want to get rich in the beginning. I really don't pay myself anything.
Me either.
I pay myself about $5,000 to $10,000, and that's it. Even $5,000, even if it's just $2,000 $3,000, because I invest every single penny back into my business.
Same.
I don't care about getting rich. I care about actually maintaining this business. Then I'll pay myself later down the line. But it's all about what are you putting back in the business.
This is a long-term thing. This is a long-term thing. I don't pay myself like ever. David doesn't pay himself. We keep the money in the business. At the end of the year, we can pay ourselves, but for now, we're focused on longevity and building this business as fast as possible. Even though I'm young, I don't want to wait on anything. I don't want to waste time. Wasting time, I hate wasting time. Time is money.
I love that you say that, Jacob. So there's another question too as well. I'm gonna read in here. It's not popping up.
Unfortunately, you can't call in, Daniel.
Yeah. So, I like to much respect to people the great work.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. David, you said. Yeah. So, David, you said Gary Keller. Yeah, that's the Gary Keller book. That book completely changed my life. And like I said, guys, I didn't know anything about. I didn't know anything about real estate, and that book just really changed my life. That book really changed my life. It taught me about what a flip was, guys. When I first learned on what a flip was, I didn't know anything what that was. I mean, you watch the TV, you see the famous flippers that have the television shows. They fix up the houses. When I heard about flipping, when I heard about rental properties,
right?
When I heard that you can rent a property out, no, not rent it out. The BRRRR strategy. Buy. What is it? Buy. Rehab, refinance.
Buy, rehab, rent, refinance.
Rent, refinance. When I heard about the BRRRR strategy, wow, I just absolutely amazed me. And this is coming from someone that didn't come from money, and that's
right.
something
And
that
both of us are gonna be doing that type of stuff too, and sub twos, the BRRRR strategy, all that. We want to buy and hold too. We're gonna build generational wealth. Like imagine if. This is what I'm thinking about. I want to build my wholesale business, scale it up, and then from 20 to 30, buy, and buy and hold. And then by the time I'm 30, I'll be getting, over $1 million in rental income every month. I'll own over $5 million in property. And, who knows if I'll retire? I don't know.
You know what I like? You know what I like, Jacob? You said this right now. You said you didn't say maybe. You said I will. You said I will own $1 million in passive income already by that time. You didn't say maybe. You said.
I want to say this too. It wasn't always like that. I didn't used to say I will. I used to say maybe, and people like you, people like my mentors, they'd correct me. Why are you saying maybe? Right? It changes.
Remember, I told you. I remember telling you when I first met you. You said something. Right. You said something. You said maybe, and I said don't use that word.
Yeah, and now it's like I know I will. I know I can, and I know I will achieve everything, and I'm gonna not settle for average no matter what, and that's just how it is. So it's I will. There is no maybes, there is no if, there is no but, so
exactly. Sergio Rui said, what do you use to track your KPIs? I just use a simple KPI tracker that's on an Excel spreadsheet. So I track everything, guys. I track how my employees are doing. I reverse engineer everything that I do in my business. I'm not just flying blindly and dropping money and everything. I make sure to reverse engineer everything that I'm doing. So I make sure to track, your cost per lead. Make sure to track, how much leads does it take to hit a contract, one contract. So in California, it takes us about 20 to 25 leads to hit one contract. Like those are things you want to be tracking. What marketing campaign made you this amount of dollars last year? Was it November that made you this much money in this marketing campaign? So you can go back and track this for the next upcoming year for every single quarter that's coming up. So you want to track everything, guys. Always.
With me, I track cost per lead, just like you. How many? It's like 80 to 1 off these cold call leads, 80 to a deal. We're tracking how many dials we're making in a month. We make over 3 million dials. to homeowners in Maricopa with our 16 agents, with our 16 cold call agents. You want to track a lot. In the beginning, you won't be able to track because you won't have that much time. But the sooner you start tracking these things, the better. I can't say I have everything tracked, but will I? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And just going back into that right there. I mean, guys, we this what we're doing in wholesaling, the marketing, acquisitions, dispositions, and all that. This can be applied to any other business. I know for me myself, any other business that I have, I use the same Excel spreadsheets that I use for my wholesale business for my other businesses. I just switch up the verbatim, the wording, and I just switch everything up based on that. Because look, at the end of the day, and I'm thankful for Carlos Reyes. Carlos Reyes, shout out to him. He actually, helped me out, set up all my systems. I was like a chicken without my head. I was doing real estate deals, but when Carlos Reyes stepped in, he's like, "Yo, Leo, here's a small tweak. Just start counting. Start actually looking at your numbers." I started doing that, and I actually started changing everything that I did.
Yeah,
Everything.
and that's another good thing about this group, guys. It's those small little tweaks. So ask questions in this Facebook group, right? We're going to answer. We're going to comment and respond to you guys. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other people in this group that will give their advice too. So this community is meant to help each other when we're struggling with something. Oh, how do I do this deal? Oh, the tenant won't get out. How do I evict them? We're here for you guys.
Jacob, Luke asked, someone said, Jacob said, no, Luke said, Jacob, what would you say inspires you the very most?
My mentors, my dad, Carlos, Alex, Sal, Zachary Keeps inspires me very much. You know, my uncle inspires me very much. My grandpa. It's the people that have been successful and know what they're doing that inspire me. There's many people that inspire me. It's people that inspire me that are successful. Successful people inspire me.
And I like this, guys, because going back to what you're saying, Jacob, I'm inspired by a lot of people. But I always say I don't want to be, because I hear a lot of people say I want to become like him. I want to become like him. I want to be like him. I want to be like him. I want to be like her. Don't be like someone else. Be a better version of yourself. Yep. Once you start thinking, you know what, I'm just not there yet. Don't you see a lot of people with a lot of money driving the fancy cars, the nice houses? Guys, don't put in your full heart into those things, because at the end of the day, you're just not there yet. You're gonna soon come to that point. You just gotta work hard, and I promise you, all you're doing is climbing up the ladder every single time.
And you don't want to be someone else. You want to be the successful version of yourself, and you want to build your dream life as the person you are. You don't want to become someone else. I know Sal always told me, once you get this money, right, you don't want that to change who you are. And you got to stay focused on that too, sticking with your roots and staying the true person you are.
I like that you mentioned that, because money only adds to the person you are. Money builds
our capacity too.
Yeah. Builds your capacity. It builds up your character. It just adds on to your character. Doesn't change who you are. I mean, if you're an asshole, and you get money, you're gonna be even more of an asshole. So for you yourself, you gotta really find out what is your true meaning. And I'm gonna tell you this, guys. Money. Look, I hear a lot of people say money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. Money pays your bills. Money provides your dream life that you want, your dream lifestyle, your vacations, money provides everything. It's a tool. But money should never be a motivator, guys. Money should never be a motivator. Yeah. Never.
And you don't
What can that money do for you? What can that money do for you?
You don't want money to come in between your character. And, money shouldn't be the motivation. It should be the vision that you have of what your life is going to be. And if you don't have that vision, then you need to go back to the drawing board, because it all starts from envisioning what you want and what you want your life to look like. And that's where the pieces start coming together. You got to manifest your life. You got to envision it. And, I'm up late at night sometimes thinking about what's next, right? And envisioning how it's going to be, because if you envision it, it will become reality, right? I saw Charlie the Rocket giving a little kid a notebook a couple days ago on his Instagram, and he gave them the notebook and he told them, this is a magical notebook, right? If you write in it, you write your spells in it, right? Spelling, spell. You will cast these spells with these notebooks and they will come true. So if you write in here negative things, they will come true. If you write in here positive things, they will come true. And I have my notebook where I wrote down I'm going to be doing 6 figures a month. And then I have all the information of how I learned in there and everything like that. And all the pieces came together and became a reality,
Yeah,
So,
exactly. That's amazing that you said that, because at the end of the day, you're putting that into perspective. You just want to keep, putting in every day what you're gonna be able to accomplish.
100%. It's so important. And you guys got some more questions for us?
Yeah, I know mine froze. Let's see.
Yeah, and you just said something great right there. Yeah, the main goal is time. It's not money. It's time. I'm trying to win time now, right? I've got the money sorted out, right? The money's coming in. I'm trying to figure out how I can create time. And the only way I can create time is people. And I was talking about this a couple days ago. I have to give up my time in order to create time. I have to pour time into these employees, into these hires in order to create time. And that's one of the hardest things, to, drop everything because you have everything else going on, but it's necessary. You have to pour into these leaders that you want to build for your company in order to gain time. So giving up time will help you gain time, but sometimes you lose it, right? Leo, you just hired a few people and it didn't work out, right? And you poured into them for months and it didn't work out.
Part of it, guys. It's part of the journey. I poured myself into some of my employees, but you guys got to remember, there's something I had to learn myself. You can't treat your business like your friends. You can't treat them like they're your friends. You really can't. Business and personal life is completely different. I thought that I can bring people that grew up with me into my business, and that type of stuff doesn't work out. So it's a learning experience for me. It's a learning experience for me because I learned from all that. A great book for actually running your business, Traction. I would recommend everybody in here to read the book Traction.
First 50 pages. First 50 pages will change your mindset. I have here somewhere in my notes on my phone in all caps, do not become friends with employees. It is so easy for us because we're young to let that happen. I think I called you. I'm like, how do you not become friends with employees?
Yeah, you told me. You asked me that. You said, yeah, because they one of your employees didn't take you seriously. And you're like, I'm the boss here.
Yeah,
I'm the CEO.
So, it's all learning experience, right? I learned from that. But if you're young and you're starting a business, just know that's going to be a road bump. And I'm sure you're going to fall into it where you become too friendly with employees and you're going to learn from it. And then you're not going to let it happen again necessarily. But it happens. Even though I'm telling you now, it's just going to happen because of our human nature of being so young. It is what it is. It happens and we learn from it,
Exactly. So I want to add something off before we end off. So everybody that was on here, make sure just to screenshot a picture of us right now, repost it on the Facebook group, or if you have Instagram,
or share it on your story.
Make sure to share it and on your story. If you have an Instagram or on Facebook, post it on the group. The reason being is because we're going to pick one winner and we're going to either DM you on Instagram or we're going to text you on Facebook and we're going to let you know if you won the records. And we'll post the winner of the records. So you guys know we actually did give it to someone.
Yeah, so screenshot it right now. Post this on your Instagram story or your Facebook story. Tag us and then we'll pick a winner, all right? Or on your Facebook timeline. And also share the group. We'll pick a winner for the 100,000 records. We'll also give you a call and give you a little breakdown of where you should go from receiving these records, what steps you should take in order to make these records make you money.
We'll give you a game plan. We'll give everybody a game plan.
Yep. So
all right, that's pretty much it. Thank you everybody for being here, and thank you everybody for supporting us. Just make sure to share it. To your friends and family, because it's still going to be up on Millennial Motivate. Just make sure to share it with everybody else, and we're going to make sure there's no technical difficulties. Next time, I know about 20 of my people couldn't show up just because of the technical difficulties. So next time, we'll find a better way for that. But yeah, guys, we'll talk to you later on, and we'll keep you updated on who's the next person we're gonna bring on the podcast. Me and Jacob will be interviewing someone on the next podcast. We have a special treat for you guys, so just make sure to tune in.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Add to our community. Come with us. We're gonna go to the top together and push each other up to win. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Peace.
Boom. You can cancel the live after the break.